Hello, Governor. Welcome, everyone, again to a Friday Media Therapy Deep Dive featuring myself, NupeFromDaVille, Rakai Steed, and also my co-host, the man of the moment, Mr. Centel with the Intel, will join me momentarily. I do want to thank everyone for showing up. There he is right now. Speak him, and he shall appear.
What's going down? Sorry for my little bit of tardiness. Had to clean up some stuff a little bit, but here, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, just happy to be here, man. And y'all always look forward to our little Friday discussions because you never know where it's gonna go.
Yep, I figured that last week we did the Valentine's Day edition, and we got a little vulnerable. We talked about love in all of its forms, and what it is and what it ain't. So I wanted to talk about, just because we are two, well, I'm not going to speak for you, sir. I know that you are young and using your olive oil every day and shit, but I am vintage, nice vintage. Don't ask my kids, but I am vintage. I've been around, done a few things. And I think today would be a good day to, I know we did like a personal edition 2 weeks ago, but we got a little personal, but today, let's talk about that, because you said something this week when we were in the Discord. And shout out to the Discord. If you go into either one of our descriptions on YouTube, you can see a link to the Discord. You said something this week in the Discord. We were talking, and just kind of after we roll, you said something that you had done before that I did not know. And I was like, oh, shit, that is interesting. It's just your background, and I knew that you were a thespian. I know that you've done some things, but just some of these sets that you have been on, some of the people that you have been around, music videos, movies, TV productions, is highly interesting. And I think that maybe today is the day that we share just a tad bit of that,
I love to talk about film and TV production. That's my thing now.
Yeah, and I thought that would be interesting. I've done a few things, but I don't nearly have that type of resume as you do. Some people think some of the things I've done are interesting. They're definitely different. But I think your experience, and maybe both of ours together, and eventually we will also invite Sherelle and Frank to the stage in a little bit to talk about some of the things that some of us have done that people wouldn't know, or some people might. So that's our spiel today. And of course, I've just been talking since we got on here, but again, let me introduce again my partner in crime, my ace, Centel with the Intel. How you doing, sir?
Hey, brother, it's always a slice. I think we got one of the coolest gigs in the world. We get to sit and chop it up when it comes to film and television, and just really just throw our brain on this thing and speak our piece in it. It's we're in a very incredible age now where TV is in a lot of ways stronger than movies, and it's right here, easily accessible. And I get a chance to talk about it with you, man. One of my favorite people in this world, and it's just a joy. So even being on this live, talking about it, digging into the details, like I had such a good time with the Valentine's Day one that we did, our last one. That one was great, and you have just this really cool, unique way to breathe our everyday life into the content that we enjoy, and we show some really cool parallels. And to me, it kind of really shows the artistry behind the things that we enjoy, because it's all this art is based off of real things and experiences that people go through. So when you uncover that, it just adds a lot more depth, and it enriches, the stuff that we watch, man. So here we are again to be able to pull back the layers on some of this stuff, man.
Well, thank you, sir. I do appreciate it, and I try to do what I can do when I can do it. And sometimes, listen, I'm not good for much, but I can at least tell a decent story. So, and that's another thing too. And I really encourage everyone to jump into the Discord. at least, 4 to 5 days a week, at least we do lives multiple times during the day, where not lives, but where we are filming, and you get to, if you're a member of Centel's Patreon, you can join in with us and see our reactions live. And then, after reactions go off, we stay online and talk shit as we do. And I swear, the thing is, I talk to you and Chuck probably on a daily basis. And those are just the best conversations ever, and I hope that everyone on here, that you have some friends like that you can just chop it up with and just, let life be life. If nothing else, you need some people to put a smile on your face. And hopefully that person lives in your house. That may not be the question. You may be just miserable every day. It's like, every time they call your name, you ring, bless your heart. Bless your heart. So, I talk to my kids and they put a smile on my face and then put, some discomfort in my wallet and my heart, and be like, I love y'all so much that I think about not murdering you. I love you. I love them kids. Listen, teenagers, they just take, they're putting all these little, these senior hairs in my beard. Oh my God. And just to answer, absolutely not. He may show up just because that is the shit he does. But you call him and you call on the devil and he shall appear. So
he will appear. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. my man get the hairs on the back of his neck raised and be like, am I being summoned?
Yes. And as long as and Frank is good at calling him into existence, because he will mention that one property that we shall not name. And Chuck will show up. So anyway, I did want to ask you about, so you said during your time as a thespian, and I'm not saying that your time as a thespian is over with. You just moved your talents. You had a press conference and moved your talents to Beyonce's internet instead of some stage somewhere. But you worked on music videos.
Yeah.
So what all did you do on music videos? Were you strictly PA? Did you ever, direct, or you ever done some production? Like, what did you do on music videos?
I've done a lot, man. I've done everything from being a PM production manager. I've been a first AD. I've been a second AD. I've done locations. I've done casting. I've been a PA on many occasions. I've helped with wardrobe. I've done catering. When it comes to this, I really did jump in like with both feet. It's funny. Me and Frank were having a small conversation about it, and it's just one of those things where I have a job where my office changed daily. And not only did my office change, my job description changed daily, and it was that thing that like really fed my brain. I've wrangled cables, put up lights. I've worked in the camera department. Like you name it, I have actually done it. And the thing with music videos is it's more of the Wild West out of all of the areas when it comes to music, when it comes to video and film. Music videos is like you need Doc Holliday out there. You don't know anything that can happen will happen. You work really crazy long hours. An average video shoot day is anywhere between like 16 to 20 hours. You sleep on set. It's one of those kind of things. You deal with crazy talent issues, everything from people that just have to literally smoke real weed on set throughout every scene to dealing with groupies and people trying to sneak in. I've been cussed out by paparazzi. I've had to put Fernie pads over Mariah Carey in order to keep her from getting assaulted from fans. To like you name it. It's funny when I was thinking about Puffy's making the band thing, going out to get cheesecake and stuff like that. I've had to literally do stuff like that. The weird requests when it comes to certain artists. Oh my gosh, I've worked next to people like Taylor Swift. I've worked next to people like Beyonce. Let me see, Mariah Carey. Usher, Too Short, Snoop Dogg. It's a huge list, and I know it sounds fantastical, but when you're in it, it really is a job. And I'm saying these names to say, I'm not saying I sat there and chopped it up and had dinner and we was over there talking about where our lives are going to be. No, it was a work thing. It's like I make sure that a lot of their needs are met, or making sure the wardrobe is fitting, or picking them up. Like it's those kind of things. So when it comes to music videos, it's any and everything that you can possibly imagine.
Listen, listen. For somebody said, said I've worked in some music videos. Most people be like, okay, you might say like the name of one band that I faintly know. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I've heard them. Listen, you just listed off the Academy Awards, the Grammy, Mount Rushmore. Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Usher, Mariah Carey. Boy.
It was a lifetime ago.
I love how you said all that. You threw it. You're like, Too Short. Like, boy, listen. Too Short had to been an early experience, and then you worked your way up to the Mount Rushmore. Like, okay, you've been with some people, and and that's the thing. Like, like a lot of them people. For most people, like, okay, so I have been around. I have not worked with that caliber of people. I don't even know how I'd been if I saw Beyonce with my own two eyes like that. I'd be like, oh, where's Jay-Z at? But and the thing about it is, like, I've been around a number of stars myself, and I'm not starstruck. I don't know how I've been around Beyonce though, but I've been around some people, and I'm not starstruck at all. And because I am one of those people that's like, shit, they are just human. They get up and put on their pants one leg at a time, just like I do. They just, more people recognize them, and they got a lot nicer shit than I got, So, well, shit, that's anybody. I think homeless dudes got nicer shit than I got right now, so it's not really saying much. But it's extremely interesting to have those types of experiences, because that's the thing that most people cannot resonate with. Like, it would be hard to not be on a set and be starstruck. I think probably if I was all the way serious, with Beyonce, I might have been a little bit, just a little bit. Probably like if I'd ever been like in close quarters, probably with like Prince, I probably would have been. I was like, that is Mr. Purple Rain himself. I'd probably been a little bit. Beyond that, though, I can't really think of anybody that I'd be like, wow. Maybe if you were around Michael Jackson or something, but
I have been caught gawking one time.
Really?
Yeah. There was one time I was working on Catwoman.
Okay.
It's Halle Berry. It's Halle. Yeah. Like Halle. This is like she's still prime. Still, she's always prime. Let me be clear, she's always prime. But she was certainly a lot more in her superhero actress kind of stance thing going on. And there was a scene where I just had to just simply walk. I was an extra. I was just doing background. And she's like walking through, it's a street thing. She's like walking through the crowd and she's trying to figure it out or whatever it was. And I'm walking into it, and it's Halle. You can't not look, right? And she's like, the camera's here, and she's walking like by the camera, and I'm like cross-eyed at the same time, and I'm like,
I bet the director like, cut. Who is this guy? Why does he keep walking into the damn wall?
Yeah. And then to make things even worse, like she actually came up to me. She was like, "Baby, you all right?" And I was like, I'm sorry, Miss Berry. I know I'm messing this up. I just, it's like, come on, like you were. I had pictures of you in my locker as a kid, like. She was like, "Babe, it's okay." She gave me like a little hug. She was awesome. She was actually, but yeah, totally just stuck. I couldn't stop staring. But you know, she's like one of a kind, though. You know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I get that. Listen, I get that. I ain't never been around Hallie. I was around her ex-husband once, and he told some stories. I was like, for real? But yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I can see that. Miss Barrett. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's like staring into the sun. Like she's beautiful. She's beautiful on film, and you know, when you see her on in magazines and stuff, but when you see it in motion in front, it's like, wow, God cracked his knuckles on you. He was like, all right,
he said, I'm about to work out
really
right here. I'm about to do that thing.
She's just, you know, she's a beautiful woman. You just and commands attention. You get it. It's like you see it and you're like, oh, I get it now. I understand.
A beautiful natural woman. There's a lot of people, you know, on the Instagram that have went to a doctor to help them become beautiful women. And just for neither her, I want to say maybe her first husband, David Justice. So not Eric or Oliver, David Justice. I was around him when I was David Justice was, I guess, I'm gonna say he was Hallie's first husband. I don't know if he was or not, but yeah. So that was way interesting. That was at my when I was at the University of Louisville, my U of L days. So that's a whole. And David was playing for the Cincinnati Reds and came down for U of L's homecoming. That's a whole. It's a whole different story, which I will not tell on here. If I tell that, I might tell it on my Patreon. If I, you know, it might just, it's a whole different. It's a different experience. Wow, that was interesting.
Yeah, there's been a few times where I've just kind of been stuck. You kind of just get stuck in the awesome. I worked a project, Steven Spielberg project called Terminal. The Terminal.
That's Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Yeah.
He was like was that the one he was like trapped in or something? He couldn't leave the air.
Yeah. He was stuck in the airport. Like something happened. His country dissolved or whatever it was, and he was considered like a political refugee or something, and he couldn't leave, and he was stuck in the airport.
That's crazy. Never watched that movie.
And it's one thing to watch Steven Spielberg do his process, which is a whole other story. That's a whole other story. But we shot that in an old airplane hangar where they used to help build the Saturn V rockets way back in the day. Like back in the 60s, this massive, huge, gigantic hangar, massive. And they built the airport inside of that hangar. And the airport was so accurate. They had working elevators in it. They had working escalators in it. They had a food court, like the airport's food court had a real working kitchen. Yeah, they had real working kitchens. Like they was in there like
about craft services for the day. Like you want craft service, go to the food court. Shit.
No, it was wild. Like the stores, they actually hired like real people that like worked in the stores. Like they had a in my little area that I was working in was for Hugo Boss. I think it was the name of the company, Hugo Boss. So they had real Hugo Boss employees in there working and doing their whole spiel. Like that's like the attention of detail that Spielberg was in order to get this in. Like something that you would just catch glancing in the corner of the frame as is walking by. You know, they spent tens and tens of thousands of dollars to make that little quick moment accurate. You know, so when you see these things,
big budget.
Yeah. So when you see these kind of things, it's like, wow, so much effort and work goes into it for a moment, just a quick moment, and then it's gone. That's how much love they put into the craft.
I have not had the pleasure of working on huge budget things like that. And most been on a few movie sets, but they were indie productions with fractions of those type of budgets. A few TV shows that were smaller, even though a couple of them were network, but not anything big like that. And the process in any sort of filmmaking, I've been on countless music videos, even made a few, which we won't go into that. Uh, it's a whole different lifestyle. Yeah, that's whew, Lord.
Yo, but you've experienced that. You know the joy and pain that when it goes to creating those things, man. It's way bigger than you realize, right? Like when you're in it and you're like, oh, this is a task. Putting this together.
It is, and honestly, the thing is, I love it because it's a creative outlet. And actually, to be honest, one of the things that I love the most is acting on stage, like theater. And I had an opportunity to not only act, but to write and then be, on the production end in the back. So I directed a few, even directed some things that were on film when we got to the point, especially during COVID, but that was all really church-based and stuff, but where we shot a few extremely micro, low, no budget, it's church. So church ain't never got no budget, collection plate be out, but there don't be no budget for nothing. So, and that's how I started accumulating equipment on my own back in the day. Just because I was interested in the process. I've always been interested in the process. And I got to the point where, it's if you want to be rich or famous, especially in this age of the internet, shit, if nobody's hiring you for a project, help make your own damn project. And I believe that, and sometimes you just become a content creator. And I don't want to say that lightly, like just become, it's funny too. I have people that hey, how's your little podcast thing doing? Like, I don't know. How's your mama's little drug habit going?
Word.
Don't test my patty. Don't test my patty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not on 50 Cent or Kendrick Lamar level, but don't test my patty. Nah.
Listen, when they go low, we go low.
Yeah, I can go to hell.
We go low.
Yeah. Scorched earth.
That's a trip, man. But you doing your own projects, working with you're using the resources you have available, the church. It's a great way. Kids today have these now, which is crazy with the cameras that are on these things now and are doing production. And now, you've got content that you can go on YouTube and post and so
they
it's so many
between TikTok and Snapchat, they can create whole movies by themselves with CapCut or something like that. And and some of these kids got Steven Spielberg, Peter Jackson type chops on their cell phones.
Yeah, which is wild. Because when I was coming up, when I was like driving production trucks and I got a truck full of equipment and stuff like that. I'm going to say this now, but I'm not going to say the productions that it was. Like after we parked the truck, we would have a circle of folks and be like, hey man, I got this equipment, I got this light package, I got this grip thing, I got all this kind of G&E for electric and stuff like that. They was like, yo, you're still trying to knock out a couple of pages of whatever the projects were that we were all doing on the side. And we grab that production truck, go steal some shots, steal some scenes, make sure everything isn't damaged, and then put it back before the real shoot or what was the next day. But it was whatever it took. That was our whole thing. Whatever it took in order to get the scenes.
When I was younger, the tooth, those were the good old days. What was that movie? Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy. What is that movie?
Bowfinger.
Bowfinger.
Yeah.
Those type of days where and everything really was a barter system. You borrow. Beg, steal, borrow. Beg, borrow, steal stuff to get little guerrilla productions made. Those were the good old days. Even though we have more tools at our fingertips now, as far as digital assets and, supercomputers with super, cameras in our pockets, it seems harder to do a lot of stuff nowadays too, because especially there's no barter system. Everybody needs to get compensated. And I get it. I just, I ain't got it like that. But I think it also calls for you to be a little bit more creative when you do things. And I think that was something interesting that we revealed on Discord the other day. Like, as much as we film together, and you're my ace. I talk to you like every day. Like I said, I talk to you and Chuck every day. That I have never met you in real life.
Yeah. In case y'all didn't know, me and guys have never met.
Yeah. Fast friends that talk every single day. Just even if I don't want shit, you know what I'm saying? I call you, how you doing? You good? The fam, everybody good? All right, I was just checking in. All right, and it's every day. And it is the power of Beyonce's internet. Listen, she is, we have never met in real life. And of course, the hub between us is one Charles Babb. And if y'all have not met Chuck is a professional troll. And he is actually one of the most interesting people ever. He downplays it. He's very humble in his assholeness, but he is. But he is a wonderful dude, and he is Charles Babb. You'll see him on here, Zariah, and especially if you jump in the if you jump in the Discord, Chuck comes through. And that's who we were talking about earlier. You know what I'm saying? If you speak the devil's name and he shall appear, Chuck will pop up. And once he starts talking, he says some shit or he'll post in the chat. You'd be like, yeah, I will never forget that dude because that dude's wild, and it's funny. Now, Chuck is my brother. And me and Chuck have, you've known Chuck since you were a teenager.
Yeah.
And I've known Chuck even longer. Once I first transplanted in Kentucky, him and my younger brother were best friends. They were connected at the hip. And so Chuck has always been my little brother. And now Chuck and my brother don't even speak anymore. They had a major falling out. But Chuck is always, that's a little bro. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about Chuck too is like, most people would be like, because he's little brother, he does, he's little bro. No, Chuck is gravity. He's his own planet, and he's got this magnetism to him, and he just attracts the wildest people. So, me and Centel to get on here and tell stories is one thing. Listen. Yeah. Listen. When I tell you, if Chuck started telling stories, like to me, I was just blown away just now by him saying Beyonce, Mariah, and stuff. If Chuck start telling a story, you'll think it's not real. Chuck would be like, oh yeah, this is one time when I hung out with, Beyonce and and Jay-Z or whatever, and Beyonce said this to me, and you'd be like, wait, what? Yeah. And his stories don't be bullshit. Like a lot of people might think they are. They're not. And he don't really reveal that. Listen, so when I was doing event promotion, and I used to promote concerts and do event promotion. And so I was doing a promotion for a liqueur company called Rhythm. They had a wonderful liqueur, and they contracted me to do a derby party for them. So, living in Louisville, Kentucky, the biggest thing to Louisville, Kentucky is the Kentucky Derby every year, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. And so, all that week is, the lead up to the Derby. And then there's before Derby parties and the after Derby parties. Now, usually the after Derby parties are the heavy hitters. And I usually had done the night before Derby, I usually had done those kind of parties. Which was still nice, $100 a head, wasn't too shabby.
Not at all.
Yeah. I wish I was still into that, but that was a whole different me. I was a shark in those days. I am a guppy now. But I got contracted by Rhythm to do their after Derby party.
Okay.
And they said, and they had the budget. They was funding. I was like, oh, let's go. So we had, at the time, she was hot shit. Tila Tequila was the host of the party. She was the host of the party.
Right.
And then we had LMFAO when they was big as our musical guests.
I remember them.
So that's, they were party rocking and everybody in the house tonight. Yes.
Yeah.
So they were our musical guests. So the party, it was decent just because the one thing, if you know about Louisville, Kentucky, the weather here can mess up any damn thing. And it rained literal cats and dogs and small fish. It rained so badly. It's like, if you want to go out, how money you spent on your haircut, on your hair, on your outfit, prepare to go swimming to get to the venue. It was not a good night for me to, for us to recoup the money that we made, spending $100 a head to pay Tila, to pay LMFAO for the venue, for and we had it decked out, a first-class affair. But our reward for that party was that I was able to go and then do a party for a charity. And my particular charity, because I'm a soldier, I'm a former military man, was the Wounded Warriors Project. And so we did a party at the Playboy Mansion for the Wounded Warriors Project. So I got to do a party at the Playboy Mansion, and I brought my boy, my partner, DJ Fluid, from Louisville, Kentucky. He was the DJ I brought with me for the party. And because Chuck lives in LA, I was like, I'll be in LA for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? I'll crash at your house and you're my +1. I actually had a +2, and we brought our partner, Bobby Kraft, brought them both to the party. So, it was the trio of us at the party. That was the longest and best party of my life.
Well, I could only imagine.
That's the thing. I was married. My second child, my daughter, was on the way. So I was at the party for work, and it was a work party. It was networking. Like I sat and had a conversation with the CEO, the chairman of NBC Universal at the time.
Wow.
Like that's who was at the party. A bunch of D-list celebrities. David Hasselhoff is an asshole.
Not the Hoff.
The Hoff.
That ain't still not the Hoff.
He don't talk to males. Unless you are his agent or somebody like that, didn't matter who you were. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're the dude to give him his check for being there, he don't talk to dudes. He only talk to women. It's like, screw you, dude.
He's like, no, you offer me that.
Yes, asshole.
I am the Huff.
I was like, I know you just heard me talking to you, mother. Anyway, I will whoop your night riding ass. Yeah, you gonna have to call Kit 2000 to come get you out this ass whooping. Who else? Oh, Vern Troyer, Mini-Me.
I remember him. Yeah, from Austin Powers fame. Yeah.
I almost beat his little ass.
Come on, man. Not little Vern. Come on, man.
That dude, I don't know. I hope he's living his life right now. But back then, he had a severe drinking problem. You cannot be 3 apples tall and have a drinking problem.
I was about to say
he was a drunk and he was a belligerent ass. And it's like somebody's baby out there. It's like a toddler that's, what I'm saying? Like, that's like this little dude running around. He was definitely on his terrible twos. I almost beat his ass. Dude, so we're doing this for Wounded Warriors, right? So at the red carpet, we had 2 actual tanks on the grounds on the red carpet.
Okay.
Somebody picked his little ass up and put him on top of one of the tank for him to take pictures. Now he's only about this damn tall. You put him on the tank to take pictures. So as people are walking by to take pictures, because the tanks flank where you take the pictures.
Okay.
He just decides to unzip his pants and start pissing. That's like miniature on the people. Come on now, miniature Caucasian R. Kelly. If you don't get your little mocha ass down from there, like.
Yo, just the visual of that is enough. That's just.
They put it in the chat. Thank y'all. I did not know that.
Yeah, he passed.
Yeah.
He passed a while ago, though. It was a while
I
ago.
didn't know that. I did not listen. I've been so mad at that dude for so many years, dude. You ain't got to never do another Austin Powers for movie.
Look, dead or alive is still disrespectful. Whatever.
Yeah, disrespectful. I was like, if y'all get him down from there, I am going to punt him like a football field goal. Oh, little son of a.
Get your man's. Yo.
Anyway, I said all that to say, I had one type of experience, which was very professional. I was above board at a Playboy party.
Okay.
And yes, the Playboy models was there. They brought out the B team. They didn't bring out the A team. They brought out the B team. And yes, they were nude. However, the theme of the party was, Wounded Warriors. Mm-hmm. So they had a professional body painter there. And he painted clothes on them so good, it wasn't until you got close to them, you'd be like, wait a minute, is that you is naked? Oh, shit. You would not have known until you got close to them. Now, that was the experience that I had. Chuck, on the other hand, had a whole different experience. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Where they say, whatever happens in the grotto stays in the grotto. Well, Chuck found out what happens in the grotto. I don't know. None about it. Chuck, I didn't even get to go inside the house. Chuck been inside the house. Chuck found his way onto the tennis court. I don't know what happens on the tennis court. You know what I'm saying?
He was serving love. That's what it was.
He was serving love. He got out there and actually played pickleball, if you know what I'm talking about. Yes.
Yo, yeah.
Look, we've been talking for a while. Hold on. I wanna before you rebut, I do want to bring in some of our esteemed guests. They are two of our very special friends and favorite partners in the Discord, Miss Sherelle and Frank. Hello, thank y'all. Welcome to the conversation. Thank y'all for waiting for so long to become part of Chuck's Diddy Party adventures. I'm trying to tell y'all.
I'd bring them in here, but I'm afraid we get demonetized.
Dude, that cancel my damn account.
They'll be like, you know what's going on, bro. Like,
you do better. Don't bring that dude on your life.
Oh no, I am gonna hit him up though and be like,
Frank and Sherelle, how y'all doing on this wonderful Friday afternoon?
I'm pretty tired, but I'm doing really good too, so I'm not complaining.
Okay.
Outstanding.
We'll take that.
How you doing, Sherelle?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. So I know I was I'm over here spilling the tea, and like I said, it was a hell of an adventure for me just doing that. Like that's definitely the biggest party. That party went on 12 hours. 12.
Was it debaucherous 12 hours or? Yeah.
If you listen to Chuck's version of what happened at the party, yes.
That was hour one.
My version of the party is very tame. You know what I'm saying? I saw, like I said, painted women, different. They had like different musical guests and different performers and shit like that. Like I said, I got within, I don't know, 8 feet, I guess, of Hugh Hefner.
Okay.
He had his 8 little blonde girlfriends around him, and I was like, yeah, he absolutely looked like the Crypt Keeper in a silk robe. He was on the early footsteps of death's door. Like he was on the porch or something. I was like, my God. Yeah, I'm sure all 8 of his girlfriends, they were there because of his charming personality and his good looks. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, my man been grooming for decades. That's what's crazy. But he checked out. He checked out before people started getting allegations. But I'm sure if you dug deep enough, oh yeah, he was doing Diddy parties before Diddy was doing Diddy parties. So don't get it twisted.
And that's probably the thing, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure, like somebody like Hugh Hefner, a lot of them other dudes that did that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The way they probably stayed out of it is they probably got dirt on people. You know what I'm saying? And hell, that's why. Before Chuck got into doing, animation and TV and VR and the media side of it, when Chuck came out of college, I was almost positive that Chuck was going into politics. Like his one of his first degrees was in international politics, just because he's that kind of dude. I thought he was going into international politics. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be hanging out with Senator Babb, and then he went into media, which fits the other side. Chuck's a Gemini, so if that makes any sense, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it makes sense.
Yeah, he's a Gemini, so yeah, he went down the other path in media, and yeah, he found out that the Playboy Party is a real party, but he might get into some stuff. I'm thinking about going to politics, and years later, like, yeah, we have this one video of you on the tennis court at the Playboy Mansion. But Chuck would probably be able to play it. Shit, this shit's impressive. Like, play it, like
Yeah, that sounds like him.
That's Chuck.
Hold on. There's somebody in the chat that had an interesting question. Here he said, "Well, Frank, have you ever been starstruck?"
I haven't, because I'm like you guys, where it's like a celebrity is just another person.
Okay.
But I get so somewhat excited at the notion of it. But like when I'm talking to them, they're just I don't treat them any different as I would like a coworker or a friend or like they're just somebody I want to have a conversation with.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Okay.
I think just to pull on your coattails on that one a little bit. I think when you work with somebody, it's one thing like if you're just in the mall and then somebody you see and it's like, oh my gosh, that's that person. But then like if you're like working with somebody, then they really are just a coworker. It's like, oh, I need to get these tasks done. It doesn't matter who this individual person is. I think that can maybe play a part into it as well. Sherelle, how about you?
No, the people that I feel like I would be starstruck over, I've never had an opportunity to meet. But most 98% of celebrities, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah. Do you have a?
And then the other ones are dead, so yeah, that's not gonna happen. So like people, I'd be like freaking out over. A lot of those are dead. So.
Yeah, I feel that.
Does anybody have a celebrity bucket list, dead or alive?
I've been to a few concerts, but I would have loved to have met Prince and chopped it up with the actual Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he'd have been interesting. I would have loved to have met the real Michael Jackson, not the one that, puts on the show for people, but as soon as all the
my deep voice Michael Jackson.
The deep voice Michael Jackson, be cussing and stuff. Be like, yeah, could wait till their asses left, mother. Clutch the pearls. No. Yeah, the Mike from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if y'all know out there, but if you have time, Google deep voice Michael Jackson. There's tons of stories when people that got a chance to work with him, and when the cameras aren't rolling and Mike uses a real voice, because what you hear on TV is that's not really his voice. He's got another voice that is Gary, Indiana voice, and Mike kept it real. So if you ever get bored, just Google.
Yeah, they said Mike was an actual gang member. All the time he lived in LA, said he was a gang member. And somebody just recently put up the story that Mike got into a fight and whooped Tupac's ass.
I heard about that. Yeah, Mike was like, "Look, don't get it twisted." I was ready. I'm Joe Jackson's son.
Walk all up and down your ass.
I'm Joe Jackson's son. I'll put the beats up and moonwalk off the sunsets.
Yeah, Mike been fighting for a long time.
Oh man, yo, Donnie said I met Maya last year. Girl does not age.
Hey, Maya still look like oof.
I used to live in North Hollywood, and there was this park right next to the rec center. I can't think of the name of it, anyways. And she used to actually like do a lot of her jogging and stuff out there. And I can't lie. I did. I used to go to the park and be like, yeah, get a little bit of reading in. You know, she come a little trotting by and be like, hey, Maya.
Go back to your book.
Right,
It's like, well, this book is filled with saliva. Like, who's been slobbering in this book? You got a dog? Like,
no.
what's you?
I've always been of the mind that like I in my brain are already best friends with these people. So like I'm not gonna like freak out over them because I'm gonna be that person that they meet. They're gonna be like, that was the coolest person I've ever met. Like, who is that? I want to be their friend. So I feel like in my brain it just makes me calm down because I already know them. So I'm talking to them as somebody like I already know.
No, I always thought about like some of them people I don't want to meet because you know the people that you fix in your mind that are cool, and he's like, damn. I wish I could hang out with that person. They seem like they'd be cool, you know what I'm saying, catch a drink with, just chop it up or whatever. You'd be like, you know what, we should be friends. And then, you know, you actually get a chance to meet them and, you know, they'd be like, all right, well, nice meeting you, buddy. What was your name again? And like, that did not go how I thought it was going to go. I thought we was going to be best friends. And like, nah, I don't want that shit. Like, I don't want that shit. No, I'm good.
They say don't meet your heroes. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Don't dig too deep because you're going to find out that they're human and human beings make mistakes and do things. All human beings do. So you know, be careful.
They're flawed individuals just like the rest of us. And unfortunately about them too, now that they have that whole notoriety thing too is a whooping. And most people can't really fathom what that looks like to the removal of your anonymity. I was watching something, they were talking about somebody like Chris Brown or Justin Bieber. I remember when I was teaching, I remember all the little girls loved Justin Bieber. All the little boys at school hated Justin Bieber with a passion. They didn't care about his music, they didn't care nothing about that. And I was like, y'all are funny. I said, because y'all hate that dude with a passion. I said, I guarantee you, any of you would switch lives with him right now today. And they're like, no, I wouldn't. He's this and he's that. I was like, really? So he's rich. He's famous. He can't even go to the mall without the mall being shut down and without every little girl in the mall and half the grown women in the mall chasing behind his ass. I was like, but you would rather be you. Boy, shut the hell up. Don't nobody around here even want your ass. But you know what I'm saying? But okay, sure. And I was like, and that's for real. That is a whole different type of problem set that I don't think I would want. You can't even go to the mall. Well, you know, nobody goes to the mall anymore, but you know, you have no anonymity. You can't do anything without them having to shut it down just for you to not be hounded or chased. That seems fun and it seems wild when you see it on TV. But if they chasing you and, you know, rip all your damn clothes off you because they just want to have a piece of you, that is the scariest shit in the world. Hell no.
There's a video, I think it's A$AP Rocky, of him getting snatched off the stage, and they was violating him. It was violating in the crowd, and what's his name that did a cornucopia? What's his name? Tyler the Creator.
Tyler Creator.
Tyler Creator made a birthday cake for A$AP Rocky with that picture and that look on his face as he was getting accosted by his fans. And A$AP Rocky was so mad to mess up their friendship. He was like, "Yo, that was like a traumatic experience. Why would you poke fun of that?" He was like, shut up.
This shit's funny.
Well, Google it if you think I'm laughing. A$AP Rocky makes fun of oh my gosh.
Tyler Creator makes fun of A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, Tyler Creator cake of A$AP Rocky. Go and you'll see the picture. It's absolutely hilarious.
It's actually kind of sad though, for real. You know, I mean, most people think it's like, oh, that'd be great. Nah, nah, bro.
Yeah, you gotta have a sense of humor for some of that. What was I doing? I was on I saw Usher get snatched off the stage one time years ago. Yeah, like they be over there. He was trying to be like smooth and grab fans' hands and all that other stuff, and he's singing, he's crooning. Girl was like, "Get your ass in this crowd." And all you saw was his feet kicking up in the back.
When
his
he
bodyguard had to jump into the crowd and try to swim to try to pull Usher out the bad boy.
When he flew on the stage, he didn't holler. Did he know? Did he? Did he know?
Oh man, that's funny. I've seen. I remember they had this event in Atlanta called Tafreja, way back in the day, and it was a company that put all these artists together, and then they would have like these concerts and stuff for HBCUs, and I was at Goody Mob. I was watching Goody Mob, and they're out there doing the thing. And this is at the time when Goody Mob isn't like, they had just done cell therapy, but it hadn't like really gone like crazy. And they were rocking the crowd, but they had followed up behind somebody else that was a lot more popular at the time. And people were getting like, get these dudes off the stage, go to the next act, whatever. And I was sitting next, like maybe like 4 people down in the audience, and this dude was like, "Yo, get these dudes off the stage," and he threw a water bottle, and I seen that joint hit Big Gip in the face. Boom, psh, water went all over the place. And I seen CeeLo Green, little bitty old CeeLo, run, jump, swan dive into the damn crowd, like 5 people down from me, on top of dude, and just start giving the beats. Stop. It's like, yo, don't be like these are people. Like, you got to be careful. Like CeeLo's from the block. Like, he was not about that business. Needless to say, that concert was over, but CeeLo gave that dude a whooping that he remembered, man. Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially, when you're dealing with some of these people, you're
careful.
A lot of times you don't know their full circumstances. Not only that, the thing is, some of the circumstances, what you read about is not the real thing. That's their publicists and stuff put out. They hide the parts, where these people are actual gang members and, saying, damn, suspected of killing somebody, some shit, and they will beat your ass. Plus, in the Dungeon family, they stuck together. They lucky it was only CeeLo.
They from around the way. It ain't like. And when you were talking about things a lot different, I give you 2 examples who had the greatest two people that had the greatest publicists ever, PR people. Whitney Houston.
Oh, hell yeah.
And the other one is, I remember the week after Tom Cruise fired his publicist. It was PR person. And then
was that when he was standing on the couch?
He was on the couch. He was on the couch. Standing on Oprah's couch. People didn't know that was about, like, Tom was really, a little different. They had done such a good job of, showing you this facade of who Tom Cruise really was. And the same thing with Whitney Houston. Everybody thought Bobby Brown was the issue. And it was like, nah, it wasn't Bobby. Whitney had her own ideas of how she wanted to get down.
Yeah, she exposed Bobby to a whole lot of stuff. He's like, what?
I'm saying, be careful meeting your heroes. They're people.
Bobby's like, I just smoked weed. She's like, here, you're going to snort a little of this powder. Like, what? Like,
yeah, people are people. So,
so what other, so, we've been talking a bit about, just that kind of media experience and people that we've been around. And unfortunately, I've been around a bunch of athletes. So athletes are a different breed of folk. I remember I saw Shaq. Shaq is one large human being.
Big guy.
Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw here living in Louisville, we have a wrestling promotion here called the OVW, the Ohio Valley Wrestling. And it used to be like the minor leagues to the WWE. So when they were trying to get into the WWE, or if they got injured and they needed to work it out to get back into the WWE, they came here to Louisville, Kentucky, and worked at the OVW for a while to get back. So I saw John Cena before he got big. I saw Batista was here. He was called Leviathan. Batista was here. A bunch of people that made it, and were here working. Mark Henry used to be here all the time. Victoria. There's so many. I saw Undertaker here.
Oh, that would have been cool.
That's a large dude.
Legend.
Kevin Nash is a damn giant. Kevin, he's part Sasquatch. Even though Kevin, he was like a center for the University of Tennessee basketball team.
Who said that again?
Kevin Nash.
He was a center? I mean, of course he was. Actually, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he played. I'm pretty sure that he was a center. I don't know how much clock he got, but I'm pretty sure he played basketball at Knoxville, Tennessee.
I believe it. Get your big ass in the paint. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you like hitting people. You like checking people. We got something for your big ass. But it's a different thing to be around people like that. But I was going to talk about, actually some of the most interesting interactions I've ever had have not been around celebrities, but just everyday people when I've been in different parts of the world, just not trying to understand the culture. When you're around people in other places, you have to understand their culture or shit will go left. And so to 2 points, like I went to go visit my family in Chicago. And before I got there, I'm a LA cat, but I was also military. My dad was officer in the Air Force. So I didn't know the customs and things like that. And, my cousins told me, hey, just take that hat off, take that baseball hat off. And I was like, why? He said, because in LA, y'all wear colors to let people know who's who and what's what.
Right.
He said out here, it's how you wear your baseball hat and how you wear your hat. You cock it to one side, you cock the other side. He said that means something different here. He said, just take that shit off. You have to understand. Same thing when I was in the Middle East. When you go to the Middle East, they give you an entire, you better pay attention to this damn briefing because small shit will get your ass killed. Something as small as waving at people. You think you're going to be nice to the locals and be like, hey, I'm an American soldier and, I don't mean you any harm. Yes, we're in your village with M16s, but, you shouldn't be afraid of us.
Right.
Wave at them with your left hand. You want to. You just cuss them out. And you be like, what? I just waved at them. Which hand you do it with? I just wave with my left hand. That is your ass. And they said it's just part of their culture. You don't wave at people with your left hand because to them, that is the hand that you wipe your ass with.
Right.
So what are you really saying to them with the hand you wipe your ass with? And he's like, for real? That's a thing?
That's a thing.
Absolutely a thing.
Yeah.
And it's just part of culture, and I think it's important if you ever get a chance to visit different parts of the world, how different parts of the world, how they react to things and the kind of things that they say and do that throw you definitely off. I remember somebody walked up to my dad. My dad almost gave this dude the beats because he didn't know we was in London. And the dude said, I heard what he said. And my dad said, what did he say? And I don't even want to say the word anymore because it's not PC in the word. But basically, in English, in American, he asked my dad for a cigarette.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're going at.
That is a different word.
Yeah, it's a different word someplace else. Yeah.
My dad almost put hands on him. Yes. You have to learn, you know what I'm saying? A biscuit and a donut and all that, like shit is different over there. It's just small things. Culturally, verbally, it's different. And it's like that in a lot of part of worlds. Have you been outside? Any of y'all been? I mean, I know that Frank is outside of the country right now, outside of America. He's in North America, but y'all been to any other parts of the world?
I've only been to mostly America. I've been to Mexico 2 or 3 times, and Cuba once.
Okay. Okay, and just for y'all, if y'all don't know, Frank is Canadian. He's from good old our neighbors up north. He's from Canada.
Oh, so, his chest is out right now because their hockey team just put the beats on the U.S. team. Was it last night? I want to say.
Yeah,
I think I heard about that. I'm one of the few Canadians that doesn't follow hockey.
Okay.
Yeah, they whooped that ass. But of course, it's Canada, of course. Okay, so Mexico a couple times, Cuba. Centel, you been outside the country?
Yeah, I've been blessed. I've had a job that's allowed me to kind of like travel a little bit. So Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Brazil, South Africa, Nigeria. So yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be able to get out and see how the rest of the world is. I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky, so I don't take it lightly.
I've never been to New Zealand or Australia. Australia's one. I've never been to Australia. I've never been to Antarctica, but I've been to the other 5 continents. Never been to Australia though. And now that I'm older, I wanted to go really bad when I was younger. I don't want to go no more. Shit, everything in Australia is trying to kill your ass. Go. 7 of the top 10 most deadly creatures on the earth live in Australia. Yeah. Hell no. No, I'm good. And I saved Sherelle last because I know Sherelle's been a few places. Sherelle, where you been?
It's mostly just Japan. But I was there for a few years, so I lived there, so it's different.
Now, were you saying the other day? I know you had been to Japan. You've been to Okinawa.
Yes, that's where.
Okay, so Japan, Okinawa, any other place over in the deep East Asia?
No. I wanted to, but I got pregnant, so I wasn't going anywhere.
I got that. Just that flight to Australia makes it. Listen,
yeah, I was just about to post that. Yeah, because that joint is like, shoot, it's what, like a 16, 17 hours?
I don't know. You literally flying to the other end of the earth. Like, it is already tomorrow over there. So
that's wild. You had said something. I kind of wanted to fall back to something real quick. You had said something regarding like, respecting the culture of where you're at, right? And I remember here in the States, I did a movie called little movie called Bad Santa way back in the day. Still one of my
y'all hearing this, right?
Still one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. And there was a location that we did in Long Beach, and they have, I guess the best way you can describe them, they're called like community coordinators. And what the production team would do is there's certain people in certain neighborhoods that can give you a pass because you just can't, I don't care who you are. Okay, you just can't be in certain neighborhoods. And there was a guy, he had a connection with a lot of the different neighborhoods, so that if you had to get some of these shoots in, you had what we would call like robber's money. We would call it like that. And it's like, a couple grand that the community advisor would, pass out to his discretion in order to keep things kind of keep things mellow, right? He had like these 2 big ass Rottweilers too, just in case. And he kept them on him at all times. Some of the most well-trained dogs I've ever seen in my entire life, like stood next to his side all the time. He moved 1 inch, they move 1 inch. But the thing is that even here in the States, there's cultural, there could be a cultural disconnect, and things that you can do could be disrespectful. And you walk in somebody's neighborhood, setting up for things that could be potentially be making money, you got to pay. It's like you can't just walk up in here, and you can't get the police to do that because that's going to cause a whole other thing, and then nothing gets done. And I've been on sets where the community has not gotten their payment, and I've heard shots rang out. They're not shooting in the production, but they'll let you know. Just a block away, you hear that thing go off. And that thing will go off like every couple of hours. You hear that thing go off, so you need somebody to go in there to kind of like facilitate, right? Yeah,
someone did not drop off the bag.
That part, that's a real thing. You got to pay attention to the neighborhood that you're in. There's this thing in the South called sundown towns, right? And you live in the South, there's certain places off the beaten path, off of not off of your main interstate, but off of highways, where you gotta If you look like me, you should be nowhere in the city when the sun goes down because violence will ensue. And
Oh yeah.
And here's the thing: like, when I moved to California, I'm thinking like, it's Cali's progressives, a blue state. That's not the case. You can be in a blue state. It's some red counties in them blue states. And there's been a couple of times where me and other black folks where we've had to have like police escorts. Because there's sundown towns in California. Same thing. You got to know the culture of where it is that you're shooting. And one more example, when we've shot in Mexico, when we've had to have robbers' money again for the police. You got to have robbers' money for the police, because you in certain places they'll be like, hey, something can mysteriously disappear for you. So you don't even need to necessarily have to be out of the country. You can be in a neighboring country, but you better respect the rules of where you at.
I was looking at some of these, they talk about Michigan got sundown towns, and a bunch of places have sundown towns. They even said that show Rome that was on HBO got stopped because the Italian government was trying to extort HBO.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Sean said, you guys talked about Lincoln from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man being another story of black character in the game. What do you think about these stories being told, even if it's true?
You want to go? Go. I'll let you go.
That is, we had a discussion a couple weeks ago on a little show that I do called Binge-Worthy on the Geekish Network on every Wednesday night on YouTube, and where we binge a series and let you know if you should watch it. And we put new eyes on Falcon and the Winter Soldier as we got ready to watch Captain America. Mm-hmm. And Chuck got extremely, it's one of the few times I've ever seen him get kind of emotional. Mm-hmm. Now Chuck works in the industry. So he worked at Disney for a while. He was a producer at Disney. And so when you talk about Disney projects, he gets emotional because a lot of the people are behind the scenes. He damn near knows all of them personally, worked with them. And he got really emotional because he talked about just his perspective on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but a lot of other movies and things that are trotted out to us as media is Hollywood publicizing and using Black trauma to sell tickets. And the thing is, we are so many things. That's one of the reasons why I love Donald Glover's Atlanta. Yeah. Because even though he did use some of the stereotypical tropes in it, he showed that we are more than that. We got to show a slice of life. There's so many shows that you just show people that, Friends was a show that wasn't about shit. Seinfeld wasn't about a damn thing.
Much ado about nothing.
Yes. Everybody Loves Raymond. There's all of these shows that ain't about a damn thing. King of Queens. And all of these shows where people just sit around and don't do a damn thing. They talk, they have conversations with families. They might eventually say something funny, and that shit will be on for 10 years. We very rarely get that opportunity. And it's almost like to sell it to us. As much as I also hate BET because they sell us on our own trauma. I am part of the problem. And I admit that because, yes, I do watch Power and BMF and a bunch of that bullshit, the 50 Cent universe, the Powerverse. I do. I watch it. I watch that stereotypical gangster drug dealer bullshit. I do. But a lot of it I do hate because, now Chuck ain't seen none of that. And he's very serious. He won't watch any of that. He won't watch damn near anything Tyler Perry made that's on BET. He won't watch it. And I don't blame him. Slave movies, hood movies. There are some that are great. There are some that are absolutely awful. Because in some cases, the story does have to be told. Mm-hmm. But just trotting out another story, some stereotypical bullshit, and telling the same story that's been told 1,000 times but in a different way is also awful. Which is one of the reasons we just talked about this in the Discord yesterday, talking about why a different world was so important.
Yeah.
A different world was the type of thing that we needed. We needed not only to see Black people progressing, but on the quest to succeed and to progress, going to college, getting the knowledge, just being able to exist without having to always be on guard. I don't have that experience. I always went to PWIs. Centel went to a HBCU, and is one of my greatest regrets, and something that I actually want for my kids, where you can just go to school and just exist. And instead of having to be on guard all the time, you get to actually just work on being your best self. My kids go to a school now that's a great school for them, but they're on guard. It is a PWI, and even though it doesn't seem like it, there is, the racist element like a bunch of public schools are, and it's just, they have to always be on guard, and they're very lightly represented in each class and each, grade or whatever. They can count Black kids on one or two hands, and that shit that's not cool. But if I tried to move them to a school, they wouldn't move it because they love where they're at, and they, so if they like it, I love it. But long story short, I'm kind of tired of, I wanted more for the Lonnie Lincoln story. I understand he becomes Tombstone, and that's a whole different thing. But I guess they give us some balance by making Harry Osborn on the other side of that. So, a lot of people probably hate on the show and say that's some woke DEI bullshit. Whatever. There's some good storytelling, and they did some interesting things in that show. So whatever your take is on it, it's your take. I'll shut up now.
No, I think thank you for that. I appreciate that though. I think with Lonnie's character, I think it's just lazy writing. It's low hanging fruit. It's not a deal breaker for the show, and I still recommend everybody watch Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, because if you're a comic book fan, you're a Marvel fan, you're not going to be disappointed. But Lonnie's character, they just took the easy way out, and it's so easy to take the easy way out. The culture, Black culture, has so much depth and so many flavors and so many different ways of looking at life. To be like, oh, I got to join this gang to keep my little brother from joining the gang. It's like, okay, all right.
I just want to say that, I'm wondering if there are any Black animators. Because it's like, those braids, what are they doing? Why?
Yeah,
Why?
the caterpillars on his head.
I was like, please tell me there is not a Black person on this animation team, because so many other things they could have done.
I don't know. Harry and his zesty pantsuit are just this.
But there are Black animators. Chuck recommended one to me, and the show is actually really good. And it's on Netflix. It's called Cannon Busters. Black creator, Black animator, Black storyteller, and you get to see an animation. You get to see, characters with a lot more depth to it. It's not everybody look like Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z. That it's like, come on, right? So they are out there. They are out there. Sasuke was another Netflix project from a Black creator that's animated.
I think it's the same guy who did.
Same guy. Yeah, it is the same. Yeah, it is actually the same guy.
Now I don't know if it's the same dude who wrote the story, because that is trash.
I mean, but they can't all be gems. Like, here's the thing, though.
No, they can't Turkish.
Here's the thing, though. Like, there needs to be a level of grace for not just Black creators, but anybody that's a minority, that's in a smaller subgroup. There needs to be grace for people to make mistakes, and a lot of times, unfortunately, you have to knock it out the park, or you'll never get a second chance. And like you're saying, Sasuke wasn't the world's greatest, but hopefully that creator will still be able to make content and still get a second chance. Like back in the 80s and the 90s, if you whiffed, that was it. I want to say goodbye.
Hold on,
now
I can name 4 animated series about people of color that were ended after the first season because they didn't knock it out of the park. So Cannon Busters and Sasuke, done by the same person, canceled after the first season.
Yeah.
Now, Sasuke was unfortunately about a real person who, it's funny that, the people were up in arms and be like, how dare you write about a black samurai? That ain't real. Actually, yes, it is.
It was real, yeah.
Actually,
that was a real thing. Yeah.
And they're complaining about his character right now in the new Assassin's Creed game Shadows.
Yeah.
Because, people, it's not like you're carrying a computer in your pocket. Never mind that. But Cannon Busters also canceled. There was one on Netflix also called Seis Manos, which was more South American, but people of color, canceled. Another one, a South American. I want to say maybe about the Aztecs, maybe not the Aztecs, the Olmecs, one of them. I think Aztecs maybe. Called Onyx Equinox.
Yeah.
They canceled that after one season.
Yeah.
So there have been a lot of things out there that were great, but because they didn't knock it out of the park and grab an immediate audience, they were canceled. And even people, they didn't see the message that Aaron Magruder was delivering, and they took it on surface for Boondocks. Boondocks was great. And it's almost when they came in on him and tried to turn into a character, and was like, oh, we love this, little funny shit that you're doing. And he's like, nah, you not getting it. Yeah. And people said the same thing about, Dave Chappelle. When he was doing his show, he said, yeah, when y'all laughing a little bit too hard, and I feel like y'all laughing at the joke and not with the joke, no, it's time to,
when the satire doesn't hit the way it's supposed to, and you end up becoming the butt of the joke, and then it stops, which is unfortunate because Aaron Magruder, it was decades ahead of his time, ahead of his time with Boondocks. It's still relative. Like Boondocks still holds up, which is wild to me. That's crazy how good Aaron Magruder was.
I want to know about the damn sorcerer. Who is it that works for Hogwarts that's working on The Simpsons? Who is it that's got the eye of Agamotto and can go in time and see all the things that's going to happen and then animate that shit on The Simpsons? That's what I want to know. I want to know what sorcerer is working on The Simpsons.
But you know what, though? They've done, what, 35 years? 32 years?
Something like that.
It's 32 years, right? It's just the law of averages at this point. They've done so many that, some are just going to hit. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing.
Not some are going to hit because, what I'm saying, to picture, like Trump actually coming down the escalator and doing something like they get some stuff that's like dead on. It's like, ain't no way in hell y'all don't got the scrying glass from Lord of the Rings. Somebody knows the future.
They got John Teeter on staff.
Yeah, they got somebody over. Somebody's got a time machine. They need Jean-Claude Van Damme and the rest of the time cops to go get their ass because somebody is cheating. Another bad movie. Another bad movie needs to go on the list.
Simpsons been on since Tracy Ullman. You ain't lying.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Tracy. That's such a deep cut. Most people don't even know who the hell Tracy Ullman is. They're like, who is that?
I never heard of her.
Yeah, me neither.
She was she did skits and kind of that improv type comedy back in the day.
That's an interesting question. Do you think in the age of representation, the creators try to exclude people of different cultures instead of include them and have them learn and feel like a part of it? Anybody want to jump on that?
Oh no, I think I need a little bit more context clues. I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
So I guess what they're trying to say is like let's just take Aaron McGruder's Boondocks. If there wasn't enough white people on there, you're excluding white culture in order to push up black culture. That's what I'm kind of pulling from it. Age representation, or like for instance, like when Eddie Murphy did Coming to America too. And people were really upset because they were like, yo, it was all black crew, all black actors. The only person they had was the guy in McDowell's cleaning up. I forgot his name. Yeah. The comedian
Louis Anderson,
right? And they almost had to put Louis Anderson in because people were complaining so much about there like not being any white people. So I'm assuming that's what Sean is saying. It's like you're making this project for us by us, but you're excluding certain people in order to keep its authenticity. Like, how do you feel that's an overstep, or is it like this is us and we just gonna do us?
No, I feel part of the problem is that people fail to see the argument, because in a heartbeat, we, and I'm saying we, which is any minority group, will complain if a minority group is not represented in a project, because they're saying if you take a slice of life, since when is there a slice of life that doesn't include some other group of people? It's, going to have, more women in it. It's got to have people of color in it. It's got to have, LGBTQ community in it. Any slice of life needs to have some of those things, if not all of those things, represented. And too many times in HBO, in media, Hollywood projects, they include a bunch of people that don't even fit the damn thing just to check off some boxes. Say, okay. No one can be mad because we include everybody in this shit, even if they don't fit there. Yes, there are white people that exist that don't have no damn black friends. And, they might know somebody black from their job. That don't mean that they hang out with Larry from, accounting or whatever the hell. And yes, it's more people than work on the line or work in, janitorial services that are people of color. That don't mean they hang out with them. So your entire show might just be about some white people, just like your entire show might just be about some black people. But in this day and age, people are so sensitive. We have far too little projects to show that. That's why Atlanta was important. And it did have white people in it because that's just the way it goes. But it can be mainly centered around these black folks and their experiences. What was due that we watched? Vince Staples' show was excellent.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
crazy ass life, and and that's great. And people will be quick to complain, but that's how it's been for years. We have seen white project after white project, over the years that didn't have any people. People complain about that about Friends. And Friends would be like, oh, we did have black people in them. If we can count them on one hand, no, you didn't. You went on for 10 years and you had like 6. Stop it. But that didn't take away from it being a good show if you like that sort of thing. Yeah. So I was reading the comments because and hold on, before we get to that one, because I do want it. Okay. This one, Seinfeld was walking around NYC for years and didn't see one brother. Yeah, see, shit like that is bullshit.
Yeah. It wasn't until Dwayne Wade's wife, what was her name? Not D Wade, excuse me, D Wade's wife. What's her name? She was the first black person on Friends. What's her name? Oh my God.
Aisha Tyler.
Oh, was it Aisha Tyler? Okay, I was thinking of
No, she was because she was Ross's girlfriend or something like
that. Okay, all right. So, yeah, but then again, those projects aren't running up the target market, So there wasn't.
That's true.
That's why, like for us, we like Living Single. That was our Friends. It was originally the first Friends before Friends stole the.
And Friends were like, damn, this is great. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's change the faces.
So they're like, this is our market, and this is who we're going to go to. But then, you have to keep in mind, this is like the 90s. We're in the 90s, so there wasn't as big of a push for that,
But it's always been that way. You love New Edition, we do too. Now we'll just call them, Backstreet Boys, what was the ones before Backstreet Boys?
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block. Yeah, we'll do the same damn thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Tom March said the problem with that question is that the majority community has the option of only living in white spaces, but minorities don't have those luxuries. We don't exclude, we are excluded. There's a lot of truth to that.
There's a lot of truth to that.
I will say, as a white person, I don't miss any white people if there's none depicted.
but to add to that, I mean, if there's one station of BET's not showing white faces, you've got literally 60 other channels that you can.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that's what I mean. More, I'm not going to miss it because there's an oversaturation.
Yeah. So it's not like there's a lack of that. You know, one thing I used to be really jealous of when I had like basic cable back in the day before there's all these different platforms and stuff, and I was still getting radio stations through an antenna. Is there was
old, dude.
But one of the things I used to always be jealous of, like, there was so many like Spanish channels. Like, it would be like for every 5 American channels, it was like 10 Mexican channels. And I was like, damn, I'm jealous. Like, all I got is BET and I got to pay for that. But, you know, it was, you know, Telemundo or what all the different options that was available. I was like, man, I wish we were afforded that type of opportunity. Where you could
they even had Telemundo and Univision.
All the telenovels and all that. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. I was surprised. And maybe it's because I was keep in mind, like, this is early 2000s and, you know, I was living in California. So maybe me being so close to Mexico is why it was so thick, but it felt like, damn, there are a lot of options. So their culture persists.
Yeah.
You know?
I used to love me a telenovela.
Watching BET Uncut.
I used to watch it. I didn't even speak Spanish, but you always knew what was going on. So they were like, how are you watching this and you don't speak Spanish? Well, because I know what's going on. I know so-and-so.
Yeah.
That was her auntie. And then I would like pick up a few words here and there. So if you knew like a few, you knew everything that was going on with everybody and you were gasping at the right time. It was awesome.
But see, but that's a testament to good writing. Listen, if you want to know if something is written very, very well, this is what they used to say when I used to take writing classes way back in the day. If you can watch a television show with the volume off and know what is happening, then you're a good visual storyteller. You shouldn't have to have the words to show you how the dots connect. And to co-sign what you're saying, Sherelle, like, I would watch some of those telenovela joys too, and I'd get the idea of what's going on. You know, I might not understand the language, but I know that dude don't like that dude, and I know that she's sleeping with him, and I know that's got to be his daddy that he stole from. Like, it's crystal clear. That's good writing. That's good writing.
I'm a big fan of Show Don't Tell.
Yeah. Dominic said I learned Spanish from novellas and subtitles. Yeah.
But nowadays you can cheat. You can get the little headphone thing or whatever, and just understand everything.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm over here reading some of these.
That's all right, because I was just thinking about getting back to the work too. So hold on, just because we got an answer. So yes, what happened to our Paradise episode 6 review?
I think it came out today.
Huh?
Paradise is out.
Yeah, I think it just came out just a little while ago. While we've been while we was either in the Discord or while we were when we first got on here. But yeah, it's out on the YouTube streets. Now, here's the thing. Again, that is a reason to get into the Patreon, because, you know, the best editor in the land. God, I wish I had me a Kenny, but Kenny, he get work done so fast. It be out in the Patreon streets. Yes, Kenny be working. It be out man, I need me one of those. You see, mine come every couple of days. I be tired. The damn editing wears me the hell out. I did drop something this morning though. Thank God.
Okay.
No, it's on my Patreon this morning. It'll be on YouTube like Monday. But you know, it's in the Patreon. As a matter of fact, you already got several weeks worth of stuff in the Patreon right now that you can see that won't even show up to YouTube for a couple weeks, few weeks now. So that is a testament to one of the reasons why you should get in the Patreon. Not only that, it is the whole thing. So you get to see our entire reaction and our entire discussion. It is heavily edited on YouTube. So you only get a portion of what we see and say and talk about at the end, which I will say, you know, some of the shit I say and might be worth being in the Patreon. And just,
Oh, stop. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that. Listen, you bring balance to the force.
Yeah, and right now you're saying that in a 3-1 situation, and you're not going to win that one.
Stop that, bro. Yeah, like you are our cozy center, our what is it? Our true north.
That's nice.
When we get to going all off somewhere, you'd be like, "Yo, what do you say? The main thing," and
Keep
that is
the main thing. Yeah,
and that's just one of the many reasons why I tell people to subscribe to your channel, man, because you really keep the main thing the main thing. We can get distracted by a lot of these shows and movies that we watch, and you're like, no, I want you to look and pay attention to this thing. Pay attention to this thing, and let me tell you why this thing is important. And that, yeah, man, you get behind the scenes. You pull the curtain back into this media that we watch. So if you are not a member of Rukai's Patreon, yo, sign up. If you're not a member of his YouTube channel, hit that subscription button, hit that like button. All of that goes a very long way because this brother's special.
Listen, I wouldn't mind it. Y'all come on, stop on through now. Get hurt. I know somebody told me the other day, somebody said, they said, why you be doing these accents? Listen, that is not my little hello, governor. That is just something that stuck. I don't know. I really cannot pinpoint where it came from. I have lived all over the world. I lived in Germany for 4 years. While I was living in Germany, the second time, because I lived for 2 years, 2 different times. So I learned to drive in Germany on the Autobahn, which is the best experience ever, which makes me so angry at American drivers. It makes no sense. Anyway, I got to visit a lot of places in the world while living at Germany because it was just so close to other places in the world. So I've been all through Europe, been to a few places in Africa, have been to a couple places in South America. I've been through Asia, all a bunch of, and maybe on a different deep dive or something, we'll talk about some of those things and go more into, just being in other parts of the world and what that experience is, because we do have the distinct pleasure, and thank you to Beyonce's Internet, of having so many people that come in and enjoy what we do on the internet from different places in the world. So we've had a bunch of people that chime in and join us from Japan. One of the members of the Discord, Bookish, she's in South Africa. Laura's from Germany, but where's she living now? But no, she's not living in Germany right now. She's in Spain, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we do have people. There's somebody on here earlier that said, they shouted out Centel and said they were on here watching us from India right now. So, Frank is in Canada. So we are blessed to have a global reach on Beyonce's Internet. And, as much as I would love for us to reach more people to just kind of tune in and listen to us talk about dumb shit, it is an absolute pleasure and a joy. And that's why I didn't, going into today, I didn't really have a real focus of our talks. I know that sometimes we like to focus on, we get finished with an episode or series of Doctor Who. We talk about Doctor Who a lot. And the community here, the Discord community, put us on the Doctor Who. We just kind of watched the Christmas episode with the 15th Doctor, just kind of on a humble. And they were like, you guys really need to go back and watch Doctor Who. And we stuck. Now we're about to finish season 8 of Doctor Who, and it's stuck and it's worked. Because for me, there's so much richness and so much to think about, so much to talk about behind what the episodes are about. The episodes are about whatever they're about on the surface. But to me, there's a lot of thought and intentionality that goes into those. So that's what I talk about. And I guess maybe it was from there, or we have another friend that joins us on the other show that I do called Bingeworthy on the Geekish Network, which is actually Chuck's network on YouTube. And she was actually, I think she was studying for a part. She's also a thespian. She's also an actor, and she's been in things. Miss Courtney Scott Wright, she's quite interesting herself. And she was studying for a part. She was auditioning for a part where she had to have a British accent. And so just one day on a humble, me and her got to talking, and my British accent falls off, very quickly. I could say some words and then be like, wait a minute, that sounds like you're Australian. Now it sounds like, are you Welsh or Scottish now? Like, it'd be all over the damn place. It does. It's not faithful, but, for some reason they like when I said, hello, governor, and it's stuck. It's weird. I do like accents though. And I do that. And that's just me playing with my time being a thespian. Now, I ain't nobody like Courtney or Centel for sure, but I do like to jump in those creative spaces. I wish I had it in me to cosplay. Like I used to take my kids to conventions, like comic book conventions, because I love comic books. I love this media that we talk about, Marvel and Star Wars and all this shit. I don't have the patience, and then my fluffiness just will not allow me to get in anybody's costume and be like, hey, who's that big bastard in a costume? No, I don't want to hear that. So just walk around and be normal at a convention. But I love the people that take that type of care and the love for a project and get into costume for it. And that's why I kind of play with accents and play with just different characters and stuff like that. I think it's fun to try on the skin of somebody else for a little while. I've been me all my life. I'm not going to ever stop being me. But it is fun every now and again to be somebody else for a few minutes. So, and just in case y'all are wondering, Centel is also nursing. His son is knocking on death's door. He's been sick all week, so that's probably why Centel jumped up out of his seat to go deal with his son. His son's in there hacking up a lung. Here he comes back. He had to get him some tomato soup. You okay? Everything all right? You on mute, my guy? You still on mute?
Yeah, my bad. I got a kid that's under the weather, so I thought I had to. I didn't know if I had to clean up some barf or not. So, but he's good. He's good. Thank y'all for being patient. Oh man, can I interrupt real quick? Because I saw a super chat. I just wanted to
absolutely
out. This is coming from Tracy Ann Campbell. Thank you so much for the super chat. Said, my bad, just episode 6. So happy I'm joining. I hope you talk about you joining the Discord over there. And if not, if you're just joining as a subscriber, that is awesome. Thank you. You have no idea how much the generous gesture means to us, because you didn't have to do that, but you chose to, and we're super grateful. So you go on and get that. Thank you.
I was just talking about being I was telling them a little bit about Courtney, and how I think it was that Courtney was auditioning for a role where she had to have a British accent. I think that's where that hello governor came from. And just being as a thespian, you get to try on different people's skin for a little bit. You get to jump into a different creative space and be someone other than yourself for a little bit, and it's fun. To me, it's fun. Like, I don't like that method acting, people that go completely immersed and they become that person that need therapy to get out of that person. I don't like that shit. But
nobody's trying to live that DDL life. Even though DDL is arguably one of the greatest thespians of our generation, I ain't trying to live that life though.
Yeah.
When you got,
in case y'all don't know, DDL, he's talking about Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis. I like what you do. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad you put it all on the line, but don't ask me to do that.
Yeah, I think before he died, I think Heath Ledger was going method. There's a bunch of other actors that go method, and I can't.
No, thank you. I am sorry, but I am going to have to cut it short. Like I can maybe do like another 5 to 10 minutes, and then I gotta.
No, that is perfect. I would actually just love to hear from Sherelle and Frank. We went a little bit long today, and just we were all over the place, but we just hope that y'all have enjoyed this time with us. Any closing words, Frank?
It's always a good time hanging in with you guys. I've said it to Sintel directly to his face before. The only reason I ever found the community and joined it was for you, not him.
Yeah, he told me straight up. He was like, he told me straight up. His face, but he was like, it ain't you, dog. It ain't you.
Wait a minute. Wait
Whoa,
a damn minute.
We got a good one here.
Look in the. Clutch the pearl.
Hold on, wait a second. I'll let you bring this in, man. This is on you.
Listen, I just felt like you were casting out over it. Like, listen, Rakai Sintel, thank you for all that you do in today's talk on representation. Here is my standard contribution. Thank you. Please keep doing what you're doing. Sintel, my thoughts with your son. Hope he's on the mend.
Oh, thank you.
Sintel, due to the changes in government, I'm no longer on X. If you still like me to reach out, let me know. Take care. And that was from Craig H.
I find you, Craig. All right, Craig.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, that is, and I understand that. Listen, I have an X account. I'm barely on X too. That dude who runs X, he's out of his rabbit ass mind. And now he's got governmental backing. That is nuts.
It's ugly in them streets out there. Them X streets is crazy.
However, I am on Blue Sky as well too. The original founders of Twitter started a thing called Blue Sky. So if you want to get back to the old Twitter experience, minus the how you say it on here, corn. Even though I think that's on there too. I think that's on there too. You can't get away from corn. I don't care what you do. It's corn and OnlyFans is gonna show up. They're gonna show up. They're gonna show up and show out. Sometimes you just gotta pop out and show ninjas. So I don't, it'd be out there if that's your thing. But Blue Sky is a nice place for just that kind of what Twitter used to be.
Yeah, we haven't set up for that just yet. I wanted to reach out to real quick, Craig. If you need to reach me, you can hit me in DMs on Sintel on Instagram, and if you look in the on the actual YouTube channel page, if you go to the profile area, there's you can uncover the email. So
and also, Craig, don't forget that Discord is free 99, so you hit him in the messages and DMs and Discord. So
that part as well.
But thank you very much for that contribution, Craig. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you one more. Thank you. Wow, you certainly know how to end on a cliffhanger.
Right?
You know how to close out an episode. Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah, that was like that after the credits scene or something. Like, oh shit! Can't wait for the next movie. Yeah, there's more. And I definitely don't want to forget Sherelle. Any parting words?
I mean, I really don't have anything to say after that. I mean, I'm just saying.
Listen, me neither. I feel you. But I do want to say,
for that,
go ahead.
I joined for both of y'all, so thank you. I always like y'all in the package. So unlike Frank, I joined for both of y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Even though Frank was like, it was never you.
I joined for I joined for Rakai, but I stayed for both.
I love it. I love it though. I love it. Yo, he told me straight out. He was like, let me just make sure I want you to understand where I stand.
I gave Rakai lead off out.
That is too funny. Frank, that's my guy right there. I do want to tell you that I am, as y'all heard earlier, I have never met this man in person, and he is one of my best friends today. And I am extremely thankful to not only to Sintel, but his entire family who have embraced me. And a lot of my success, I know that it is me. I get on and talk my shit and say what I say, but a lot of that is due to not only Chuck and the Geekish Network, but a lot of it's due to Centel and just being a co-host and his community embracing me and letting me be a part of the community. So I thank you for that. I have not had a whole lot of other co-hosts. I don't know why. It's not intentional, but it just the chemistry. I work well with Centel and it just works. And I enjoy my time. Us talking about media, we can throw out some random ass quote or something from some movie that you don't think nobody else has saw, and he has seen it and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And that shit is great. You know. Chuck is pretty good at it, but sometimes I have to remind Chuck. I don't ever have to remind Centel. Like I was like, this dude's watched as much bullshit as I watched, and that's great. It was like, yeah.
Yo, that part. Yeah, man. Same. It's nothing but a love fest for me, man. You already know off top, man. You're my ace, man. You're my number one. This doesn't look like this without you, man. It doesn't. So.
Well, I mean, even doing this right here, the lives on the Fridays, that was Centel's suggestion. He pushed that idea to kind of, move me off my square and get me a little bit out of my comfort space. Because I guess when I do my deep dives, I can go back in and edit those and cut stuff out. And because if y'all see like a raw cut, I might cut it down to 15 minutes. That should be like 40 minutes. I'll just be talking, just saying stupid shit, getting distracted. I'll be like, and this is it. Squirrel. I'll be, my ADD, ADHD, it'd be getting me too. So I might need some medicine or something. And because I'm talking about Centel, I cannot go away with talking about one of my other favorite people.
Hey, there go my baby. Look at her.
Hi, Snooty Vegans. Hi, MC. She calls me Cobra Kai. She calls me Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai done went off air now, but the last 5 episodes were amazing. But she calls me Cobra Kai. That's my friend MC.
There she go. Oh, and listen, hold on. Don't worry. I'm about to check on him. Let me just. I gotta go, guys.
Listen, yeah.
I'm like, but wait, I will stand up for you. You tricked on him in the middle of this. So
yeah,
like,
that was a friendly reminder. Yeah.
Look, and here's the thing. Listen,
I understand.
I love that MC is really Emperor Palpatine. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how strong the Force is with her. All she said was hi.
Yeah,
but that was a reminder. She's like,
I understand. Yeah.
Hey, that is your reminder.
Playtime is
wrap this shit up. Hit the button. Wrap it up. Yes. Get off.
Yeah, you playing up real. I gotta go, guys.
We know you're not about to get me in trouble. Yeah. Listen. We got the message, MC. We love y'all. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Sherelle. Thank you, Centel. And as always, if y'all tune in with us, this got to be about this, but it's always about this right here. Thank you, chefs.
Thank you, chef.
All right. And we'll see y'all every Friday. So next Friday, 12:30 Eastern time. Peace. I swear this it takes a while to shut this stream down. You'd be like, feel like I'm doing a mannequin challenge.